Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Dragon Ball Daima review. Today, we are talking about episode 17, GOMAH. We are in the meat and potatoes of the show, finally. Major Rage, my Z Fighter in arms. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about this big brawl.
Me too, especially after last week's episode. So overall impressions of this episode. I truly enjoyed this episode. I thought it was great. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of what we're doing. Little bit of lore dump, but that's the kind of lore dump that I kind of forgive, just because I'm like, no, it was very short and to the point, and I think it was Arinsu who gave us that. So other than that, yeah, we're in the meat and potatoes. We're in the last three episodes, so we needed to get to this point. Honestly, like this needed to be a big episode. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to unpack in this episode, I'm gonna say. So your impressions, Mage.
Overall, enjoyed the episode. You don't get to see all the Z fighters having at it at the same time very often, and Bulma even pointed that out at one point.
That's what I
And
want. That's one of the things I want to unpack. So
I really enjoyed it. I thought they handled it pretty well. It could be tough to choreograph that many fighters and still sell everybody's power or lack thereof. And I think that they did a really good job putting Goma over with this and just setting the stage for the finale episodes.
yeah, I really feel like that in this episode they really did like that. We haven't had anything like this, and I get it. Technically, the last thing we had was the end of Super, besides the manga, obviously. But anime wise, the last thing we had was Super, and I feel like they did a really good job at the end of Super showcasing Jiren's strength. Especially with Goku and Frieza and Android 17 having to team up. Like that's the vibes I got here, where I'm like, okay, everybody's fighting. Like, Jiren, like it took three of them to take Jiren down. Let's be real. If it was Goku and Jiren one-on-one, Goku would have lost. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that, because if you have just like the Vegeta Goku fight, if you have a well-paced, like group fight, a win's a win for me. Like you don't have to win one-on-one in order for it to be, a victory. Now, no one can say that in that first Vegeta Goku fight that Goku won that fight, but the Z fighters won that fight. So
Agreed.
anyway, but that's kind of what's going on here. Um, so we'll kind of break it down here a little bit. So we have a nice little, like, we finally have some good interaction between the Supreme Kai and his sister Arinsu, and I kind of felt like we missed this last episode with Degasu. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there was a really good conversation between these two early on, just kind of showcasing like the yin and yang of Shin and Arinsu. You know what I mean? Like, and although there wasn't a ton of backstory there, you got enough of the like the inferred backstory between the two of them, that they're just like, like we needed a little bit. I feel like we needed a little bit more of this between Degasu, Arinsu, and Shin. So I don't anything about this conversation that really stuck out to you. As I said, I really think this was a very good. I feel like we needed more of this between the three
I,
characters.
I would have liked to have seen more of it too, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. This conversation, that whole scene. I like how she was just kind of like poking fun at him a little bit for being stuck in a kid body.
Well, and she's an older sister. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the
Mhm.
dynamic there. Um so yeah. So with that, we get, more conversations with the Z fighters. And then we get into the fight. Well, not really. We get into Goku and Vegeta having their typical, my turn, paper rock scissors. And let's be real. Vegeta is 100% trying to, like, slide in to to get that to fight two times in a row. Because I thought the same thing. I'm like, okay, it's Goku's turn, and then Vegeta's like, no, paper rock scissors, and I'm like, you know what, Vegeta, I see what you're doing here. And I'm not mad, but still, you know, like
He kinda had a point, though. Kakarot did get to fight one Tamagami already, so it was even, so it was like a tie break.
I mean, you're right. You are right. I guess he is, but it's actually kind of funny because you normally don't see Goku and Vegeta arguing. Like, it's normally like Vegeta yelling at Goku, and Goku's like, "Oh, come on, Vegeta!" Blah 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 blah, and it's like, no, they're actually like doing the back and forth thing, like like they get bigger, and it's an anime trope, which is fine. I thought it was hilarious, but I really like this conversation because it was kind of showcasing that Goku Vegeta relationship that honestly we've kind of missed throughout this entire series. Like, this is the first time I felt like that was a Goku Vegeta moment that was like kind of on character for them too.
It felt authentic for sure. It felt more like the dynamic that we've had established throughout the years.
Um, so kind of what I was hoping would happen here was maybe Piccolo was going to step in and he was going to fight maybe like Majin Ku. You know what I mean? Like, like I feel like I want Piccolo to get some action. You know what I mean? Like and I know he gets some in this episode, but I'm like one on one. I feel like
Mhm.
Piccolo and Majin Ku would have been a really good like and I don't know if Piccolo could have at this point because obviously he's not upgraded from Dragon Ball Superhero, but like I feel like that would have been a good fight, at least maybe for like a good like 20 minute or not 20 minutes, but like 15 minutes, something like that. Like just a good fight to showcase, hey, look, Piccolo can still do things. You know, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? That's kind of like my what if moment of this episode.
I would have liked to have seen at some point some solo Piccolo versus somebody action for sure. I love Piccolo. He's the strategist of the Z Fighters. He doesn't get enough shine.
Like even in the in Super, which is technically after this, I understand, but even in that, like in the World Martial Arts or in the Universe 6 tournament, like Piccolo does get in a one-on-one fight. Because I know who does he fight?
Frost.
He fights Frost. Does he only fight Frost? I thought he or no.
And he gives up to and points out that the guy's cheating, I think, is how that shook out.
Yeah, but still, that shows that Piccolo's smarter, but still, like Piccolo's always like not getting enough shine, and it drives me nuts. And this was a perfect opportunity in this series to give Piccolo more shine, as well as more like lore, backstory because of all the Namekians and stuff like that. And this goes back to my point about Vegeta. Again, it's fun having Vegeta here, but like I feel like it becomes the Goku and Vegeta show, and that's where I'm like, this would have been so much better if Piccolo would have just been here, and Vegeta and Bulma would not have. But as I said, I plan on talking about that a little bit more in our season recap. But still, so we finally get the Goku versus Majin Buu, which is a pretty good fight. I mean, I wouldn't say it was anything. It was definitely an interesting fight because Majin Buu had. Well, first off, I don't think we have anything else really to talk about. Yeah, I think we're good to move on. Um, Goku versus Majin Buu. He's using the power pole to fight, and it's an interesting fight because Majin Buu has more of an unique fighting style, which is good. I would honestly say Majin Buu's fighting style is more unique than even like Fat Buu or Kid Buu. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I feel like there's definitely a more unique style to him. What are your thoughts on this fight? I mean, not it's a pretty typical fight, but I don't want to say it's anything special. It looks pretty, but you know,
It was a good warm up to prep us for what we knew was coming with the bigger overall fight. It's a
yeah,
good warm up. I do like Dude's unique style of fighting. That whole bouncing around thing straddles the line between comedy and utility. Just like kind of anytime they display like a drunken master in
yeah,
anime.
yeah. That's the Drunken Master is definitely the vibes I get from this. Um, so in this fight, Goku goes Super Saiyan, obviously, and we knew he would because he's already, I figured he would need to because this guy beat Tamagami 1, and Goku had to go Super Saiyan to beat Tamagami 3, and technically Tamagami 3 is the weakest out of the three. if I don't know if it's ever been stated that one is most, two is middle, and then third is weakest. I don't know if it's ever been stated that in the show, but that's kind of how everyone's assumed it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So do beat Tamagami 1, and so obviously Goku's gonna have to, go Super Saiyan, maybe even Super Saiyan 2, and but the fight gets interrupted by Gomic Jr. Here we have it. And keep in mind, I don't mind this. I am a fan of Garlic Jr. I've said in the past. I like his aesthetic. I like his story. I like the fact that that he actually got immortality and they had to deal with that. It was Garlic Jr. is always a great foil. This is more of maybe like the magic based Garlic Jr. So I get it. It's like Pride Trooper Garlic Jr. I don't know, but but yeah, so Goma shows up. He has the third eye. We get a little bit of oh shit from Arinsu and Neva, the elder Namekian. See, I remembered his name there. I was proud of myself. So we get like, and when you know that Arinsu and Neva are both like, oh shit, it's a bad thing. Like we're like, oh crap, all right. I don't mind this because like, what was Goma gonna do? You know what I mean? Like everyone's like, I've seen people online say, why couldn't Goma just be more like Moro, where he, uses more magic and abilities to, and he keeps his small body. And I'm like, yeah, but this is a fighto show. This isn't Pokemon where you're using abilities back and forth. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there has to be an upgrade. And even with Moro, he got upgraded several times. So it's like, in the manga. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the design of Goma and everything?
I'm not mad at it. I know it's very reminiscent of Garlic Jr., but I'm not mad at it. You can't there's nothing new under the sun, especially when an artist has been coming up with designs for 40 years.
Since the 80s.
Yeah. Since the early 80s, Toriyama had been designing characters. Some are going to overlap in appearance.
Yeah. So we now we get into the main fight, at least of this episode so far. Um and so we get I think Vegeta jumps in first, and Vegeta is he's doing his thing, he's doing the Vegeta thing. Well, technically, first off, Goma makes an arena. He makes an arena for them to fight in. Vegeta's like, screw that. I'm gonna fight right now. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't want to go to an arena. And so Vegeta starts to fight. Obviously, he starts to struggle. Um, and he starts to struggle a little bit with him. And and so he goes Super Saiyan. We get a rare moment in Dragon Ball where Goku's like, everybody pile in. Like, and I don't know, and you can tell, like you can really tell with the way they wrote this and the way that they drew like Goku's expressions. He knew that this was a no shit moment. Like he didn't want to let it on, but he knew it. Like there was one point when he was, and I know I'm skipping a little bit further ahead, he was doing the Kamehameha where you saw him doing the Kamehameha and you saw him like drop his arms and like his eyes, and you're just like, Goku knows that this is the oh shit moment. This is the okay, something is wrong, you know. I don't know if it's because Goku knows that, like like you can always go back to the whole sensing ki thing, but they don't have ki here in the demon realm. So my thought is that Goku is everything he's learned from the demon realm up to this point. Everything he's learned, he's seen, he's done. They always have that fun saying is like, you should really get worried when Goku stops smiling. And like this is that moment. Like he knows that okay, this is not a fun moment. This is not a, hey, let's give him a Senzu bean and make him more no, this is an actual threat moment. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that they did this because it really added weight to this moment. You know what I mean? Like, this is
Mhm.
one of those points where it's like Vegeta sucks at, because Vegeta is so hard-headed on that I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna do, and I'm actually surprised that Vegeta didn't, like, and maybe he knows it too at this point. That's why he didn't say anything. But normally Vegeta's the one who's just like, this is my fight, get out of here. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this like whole sequence?
I liked it. I love the subtlety of the expressions on Goku's face. I love that they had Bulma explicitly state it, just in case you're new around here, like, to really sell the direness, the gravitas of this situation, uh, that, Sun Kun doesn't usually let everybody else fight alongside him. So this is a big deal.
And I think everybody realizes that, because like Piccolo and Shin are both like, let's go. Like, Piccolo, and
Mhm.
even Piccolo, he's like, all right. He's like, if Goku's saying pile in, we know that this is real. Like, we are going. And maybe Vegeta knew that too. Like, even though he doesn't want to admit it, maybe Vegeta knows that too. That's why he let everybody come in and help fight. Because I mean, Granola jumps in there. We get a very odd moment. This is one of those parts where, like, that it was very awkward, and it was very Toriyama and fun. I laughed, but I was like, okay, this is where Neva kind of backs up, looks at Tamagami 1, and he's like, eh, eh. And I'm like, okay. It went on for a little bit longer than I thought it should have, but
He
yeah. So
technically never ordered the Tamagami to attack Goma. He's just trying to, like, have plausible deniability, I think, in case this goes south.
maybe, but yeah. So as I said, I mean, it was kind of like a goofy Toriyama moment where he's like overselling the gag a little bit, but I'm like, it's Toriyama. That's expected. And also, Arinsu tells Do and Ku to go and fight, um, which opens us up to like a freaking massive, group fight scene, which is honestly just awesome and gorgeous, and I love it. I think it's great. I feel like that there are always played like the end of the Tournament of Power, fantastic fight scene. Even though it only lasted like a half an episode or like 10 minutes or something like that. You know, a just there. I feel like there are places like for that in Dragon Ball, as long as it's done well. You know what I mean? Like that,
Mhm.
like the Vegeta Goku fight. So yeah, so everybody piles in, and I mean, we get an awesome sequence between everybody here and Goma, and it makes me wonder because is so I'm guessing Goma just has like overwhelming strength, because he doesn't strike me as like a fighter. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a
Mhm.
smart fighter, so I think he just has overwhelming strength currently.
That's how I was reading it because he's not been taught up to have any martial arts training or anything like that, so he's just using raw strength to overwhelm these highly trained fighters
I
and
mean, because
kind of
every
the
go ahead.
way Frieza did it first.
Hmm.
King Kai is like, he's just a brawler. He doesn't know how to fight.
Yep. And that's how Goku really beat him, was because, well, not really beat him. I mean, obviously Goku was more powerful at Super Saiyan, but that's why I would say that's why Goku lasted so long against Frieza before Super Saiyan, was because Goku was a smarter fighter. So, oh, and also Neva powers up. I believe he powers up Tamagami 1. Like he does the power up that he did with Tamagami 2. Right before he goes, because remember, I think he did the whole
Mhm.
like energy thing. Um, so yeah, so I'm great fight. There was a little gag in there about them like, hey, doesn't that eye kind of look like um oh crap, what's his name? See, I did it.
Hayabis.
Hyabus, yes. Uh Hyabus is hey, doesn't it look like that eye on your belt? Hey, where'd your belt go? Like, I was like, uh-oh. He's like, and I just love the little sweat drop, and he's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, Hyabus is just hilarious. He is a great like Yajirobe character for this universe. You know what I mean? Like, just it doesn't matter. Oh.
Oh, that's a great comparison. I've been trying to put my finger on who he reminded me of, but
Oh
he
yeah,
fills the
definitely Yajirobe.
Yajirobe role here. You're right. You're 100%.
So if Yarbus, Yarbus, right?
Right.
Hibis. I got it. Okay. So if Hibis, is the one who actually beats Goma, yeah, that is a literal comparison at that point because Yajirobe's the one who beat Vegeta. So anyway, so Goku at the end of the episode, Goku gets serious. He says, that's when they're all doing like the big beam, thing, and Goku's just like, okay, this is what we're doing. And so, because he gets that look, and again, that moment that I was talking about, he gets that look in his eyes where he's like, okay, this is it, we're doing this, and he goes Super Saiyan 3, which honestly, not that I want a new form, but I'm like, and I'm glad that Super Saiyan 3 is getting some shine here, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, Super Saiyan 3, we've seen it twice, and at this point, like, let's say we're watching this chronologically, we've seen it twice in the Majin Buu saga. You know what I mean? And they're giving the form, the pop and circumstance that, in my opinion, it deserves because we haven't seen it yet. Besides with Vegeta, so yeah, so this does bring up, and actually this I skipped over this point like right by the end, but it does bring up the point that the last point I wanted to bring up was Vegeta asks for the bugs. Now I'm assuming he's asking for one of the Senzu Bean bugs or revive bugs or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
He lost earlier in the fight, he lost the pouch. So do we think like Arinsu picked it up and she's going to give it to Do and Ku to fuse them? Or do we think that it's going to be Goku and Vegeta? I think they might do a swerve on us, and I think they might do a swerve on us, and they might do and Ku.
That might be cool.
Like while Goku's fighting Goma and Super Saiyan 3, you know, when Goku starts to kind of like lose still, that's
Mhm.
when, Arinsu's gonna like be like, you two, or I think, do they have to split it in half and one eat each, or I don't
I
know.
think that's how they explained it.
So it's like I think she's gonna be like, "You two eat this," and then we're gonna get that Majin fusion. Because I don't know if they're supposed to fuse. I keep getting that vibe that they're going to like become this perfect fighting machine, like like because the smarts of Do, and then, or I'm sorry, the smarts of Ku, and then and then the strength of Do.
Yeah, and that durability factor too. And Ku brings a lot of speed to the equation.
Yeah, he also does. Yes, he is pretty quick. So that's what I'm just like. I'm like, I feel like, and then maybe that might be the finale. Is like the I'm gonna call Majin Dooku because, you know, that kind of makes sense. And plus, it's Star Wars, and Toriyama loves Star Wars. Um. Anyway, so yeah. So thoughts? Anything on the end of this episode? I mean, we get the transformation, and we're ready. Goku's not smiling anymore.
No, Goku's serious face is on. I wish I hadn't had it spoiled for me that Goku was gonna pull out level 3. I should have guessed, but I saw a thumbnail while I was scrolling YouTube yesterday.
I mean, I assumed that too. I was thinking that Goku and Vegeta were going to go 3. You know what I mean? Like, I figured they would have to pull that out as I was watching. But good, Goku's the main character. Gotta push that main character.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's rank it. So I'm gonna go first this time because I'm pretty solid on my pick. I'm gonna give it a 9. You got a little bit of lore. You got definitely Fighto. It progresses the story. It's a good. They're two good fight scenes, like really good. Um. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 9.
I came in sitting at an 8, but talking with you, I realized more and more that how much I enjoyed it, especially the choreography of the big brawl. So I'm gonna go 9 as well.
Okay. Again, as I said, I think that this episode did a lot of. It wasn't like a big talky episode. It wasn't I don't want to say it was a smart episode. Like it wasn't, but it was a good Fighto episode. You know, like it was good, like choreography, good, you know. I love the fact that we got Goku and Do for a little bit, and then or no, Ku. Yeah, no, Do. I
No,
keep getting
you
the
were
two
right.
confused. Yeah, Goku and Do for a little bit, and then we got GOMAH, and then the GOMAH fight was just so good. Like these fights with like one versus like a team can always go bad, and I think so far they did it really well. So now in next episode we'll more than likely get like Goku one on one with GOMAH. And I'm still pulling for. I don't want. I mean, it would be interesting to see a new type of fusion with Goku and Vegeta, but at the same time, I don't want them to go to that well again. You know what I mean? Like, I would
Would
love
they
for.
come up with a third name? Would they go Super Saiyan 3 during it? You know, there's sorry,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have cut you off, but
No, no, no. You're fine. No, no, no. I 100%. You're 100% right. Um, yeah, like you know, it would be nice. Well, what would their name be at that point? You know what I mean? Like
like we're
Vegeta
out of
Rot
time.
or
Yeah, Veterot.
I don't know. I know a lot of people over the years have been making like like different names, like you know, like wishful thinking names. So I mean, here's your opportunity. Will it be like the Minomoran fusion, where it's like they actually have like their own like specific outfit they have to have, or will it be like just or like a or like the Patara, where it's like they just merge their two outfits together. You know what I mean? Like again, it's just kind of I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And as I said, I hope it's not Vegeta and Goku fusing, just because I would like to see something different. you know, I think it would be a lot of fun to have something different. Even though everybody's pulling for Goku and Vegeta to fuse, I don't like that. That's always the answer. I liked how they did it in. I like how they did it in the Future Trunks arc in Super, where it's like Goku and Vegeta fuse, but it wasn't the answer. You know what I mean? Like it was a
Yeah.
cool fight, but no, that it just wasn't the answer. Trunks was the answer because obviously that was more his story than Goku and Vegeta's. So anyway, so this is more the Demon Realm story. So Ku and Do kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? So anyway, as I drone on, anything else to add?
No, I'd be curious to see what the prediction of our audience is in the comments.
Oh, yes, very much so. Getting that audience involved. Good job, Major Rage. You are truly the host of the decade, my friend. Uh, anyway, everybody out there in YouTube land, please, as Mage said, leave a comment down below. What do you think of our predictions? What do you think about our review, our thoughts on this? Let us know down below. We want to hear from you. And yeah, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you kind of maybe sort of heard of. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.